Welcome to the Fertility Mind podcast. I am your host, Jessica Friesen, a certified fertility mindset coach, a sound healer, and an international best-selling author. My mission for this podcast is to give you weekly episodes where you hear my own success with IVF and how mindset and manifestation changed it all for me. You will also hear from my guests who share their success stories in the fertility world. I want you to know that you are not alone. Even when things feel tough and when things feel like they aren't going your way, the tools and techniques you will get in this podcast, I know can change everything for you too. So thanks for being here with me today, and let's dive in. Hello, listeners. Welcome back to the Fertility Mind podcast. My guest today is Elizabeth Plancon. She's one of my co-authors of our book, Manifesting with Purpose, Aligning to Your Soul's Desires. So Elizabeth, please give us an introduction of who you are and what you do.
All right. Hello, everybody. And hello, Jessica. Thank you so much for having me today. So I am an intuitive mindset and manifestation coach, and I help my clients, bring more positivity into their life, learn how to manifest, learn how to conquer their mindset. And I use my intuition with my clients as well, that I've been trained psychically for and all the things, right? So that's what my jam and what I love to do. And I'm just so happy to be here today.
I'm glad to have you. So tell me a little bit more about the chapters that you wrote in our book.
Yeah, so I wrote the chapters positive thinking and faith. And for me, they really go hand in hand together because for having positive thinking and to stay on this positive mindset, really, like for me, faith was so strong in having the faith that everything is always going to work out for me. And that is how I maintain this positive mindset. It's just having the faith that I am divinely supported and divinely guided in this life. And I can call upon spirit, source, universe, God, whatever resonates with you. I always say that because I use them interchangeably. But having the faith that I have this support system with me to help maintain this positive mindset. And positive, becoming positive and having a positive mindset is really what transforms my life. So it was something that I am so passionate about, and is one of the things that I love to help people with, is learn how to break the cycle of negativity in their life, whether it be like exterior and interior, right? Like bringing in more positivity into your life through joy, happiness, the things you desire. Because before studying this material and getting into this work, the mindset, and learning about manifestation, I was a worrier all the time. And I would always worry about things like doom and gloom. And I never thought things were going to change for me. And I didn't know how I was going to get out of debt. I had these desires, these big dreams, but I had no faith they were actually going to happen. Like I was like, okay, whatever. I would love these things, but I don't know how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen. And I would just be stuck in this negative cycle. And I think at least once a month, which I wrote about in the book, I used to have like a freak out about money, about our credit card debt, and just have like anxiety attack. Like, what are we going to do? Like, we're never going to get out of this hole. And then huge spiral, right? When I learned about, mindset work and manifestation, everything changed. And I learned how to stop the spiral. I learned how to stop the negative thoughts, the negative emotions, and was really able to flip the script and then actually start manifesting the life that I wanted, the things that I desired, rather than more of the same. And so that's kind of why I wrote the chapter on, positive mindset, because I feel like without a positive mindset, or without mastering your mindset and the things you want to bring in, you are not going to change your life. Like you're not going to be able to manifest the things that you really desire without that mindset piece first, right? So that's why that chapter was so important for me to write. And then again, the chapter on faith was just really also key because having faith in a higher power, and that, basically everything is going to work out and you're going to be okay, is going to help you with that positive mindset. So, yeah.
So, what could I ask you for a piece of advice? So, my listeners are struggling with fertility, whether they're just starting to try to conceive naturally, but it's been a couple months and they're already starting to feel the negative effects. Or I even have some listeners that have been on the fertility road for many years. So, positivity doesn't always seem to be an easy thing for them. So, what could you know, give them a tip or a piece of advice to say, like, this is how you can really hone in your positive thinking or really develop your faith?
Yeah, so what I've told the clients in the past that I've been dealing with fertility, and it seemed to, help them was really just visualizing the end result. What does that look like? And obviously, that for most looks like having a baby, right? So I would tell my clients, for instance, if one was struggling with, multiple miscarriages and the fear of always, losing the baby was a thing that was going to happen. So I just kept telling her, visualize holding that baby while you're sitting next to your Christmas tree and you're, feeding them in the middle of the night with the Christmas tree there. And like, so you're seeing yourself at the end result with this beautiful baby in your arms and you feel safe and secure because you have this baby and it's whatever time of the year or whatever you would be doing with that baby in your arms, whether it be traveling or, introducing them to your family. Like imagine these end scenarios with all the things that you would do with this baby in your arms or this little toddler seeing them walk for the first times or celebrating their first birthday, like really going to the end and getting emotionally involved in the idea. And just anytime the negativity or the fear that it's never going to happen for you starts to creep in, just go back to that visualization and visualize the end result, because that is how we bring what we desire into our reality, is imagining and thinking about the thing that we would love to happen, not thinking about the thing that we don't want to happen, right? So like the failed fertility treatment, the negative pregnancy test, like see the numbers at the doctor and see the ultrasound, when you go and hear the baby's heartbeat. And I've been through fertility treatments as well, and I remember every week going to the first 12 weeks you go to the doctor for ultrasounds every week. And um just imagine seeing those ultrasounds get bigger and bigger every time, right? Like that's what I would, really try to hone in on, is seeing the scenarios how you want them to go and imagining, going into your imagination and seeing the pictures of how your life is going to be when you have that desire, right? That baby.
That's amazing. So then how would you my other question would be, like, when you're developing faith and things like that, especially when, financial freedom is not a lot of people have financial freedom. And when they're paying for fertility treatments and they've already got the negative thoughts of, I'm spending a lot of money for no guarantee. And I don't know how I'm going to make my next payment. How would you develop a faith with money and knowing that, treatments and everything are going to be paid for and that you will get your baby?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And I'm sure it is a huge stress for a lot of people going through fertility treatments, as it is not a inexpensive thing to go through, right? So really it is just having the faith that it's always going to work out for you and the money will show up. The money will show up when there is a thing for it to show up for. So many of us just want to save and hoard our money and just want money in the bank, money in the bank. But really, the money needs a purpose. It needs a reason. It needs somewhere to go. So you're giving it this reason, fertility treatments to, right? We don't need to worry about the how the money is going to show up. There's a couple things that can go into play here, like the law of assumption, assuming that it's going to work for you. So the money is not going to waste, right? Like it's going to work out. I'm going to have this baby and this money is going to be worth it that I am spending on this, potential baby, right? And then, really just trusting that the money will show up in one way or another. An affirmation that I love to use a lot is I am open and ready to receive money and abundance in both expected and unexpected ways. And you can add like with ease and flow or quickly, whatever you want at the end. And, you'd be surprised when you open yourself up to receive how money can come in any which way. And really just being open to receiving money in all ways, right? Like so many of us are like, I have to make money in my business. So and I want to make it here so I can pay for XYZ. Really being open to all sources, because even if, like, say, one of your family members wants to help you out. And then a lot of us feel this guilt, like, no, I can't accept our money. It's, I want to do this myself. Why? This person wants to give you money. It is the universe providing for you. So if you say no, if you reject someone's giving you money as a gift or even to borrow, you're basically telling the universe, no, 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 I don't want the money actually. So no, thank you. So we want to be open to all sources of money flowing to us, no matter where it's coming from, and also letting go of the fear of being in debt 100%. You know what I'm saying? Because when we have debt, it doesn't always mean it's a bad thing. We could be grateful that we have the credit card to put this on so we can get our end result, knowing that it will get paid off one day. We don't have to stress about when it's going to get paid off or how it's going to get paid off, just knowing that it will be paid off because we're getting our end result. So I think taking the stigma also off on being in debt is a huge thing, because when you have this negative feeling and negative connotation towards debt, it really puts you in this lack of scarcity too, right? So it's also just recreating more of that scarcity, more of that lack in everything in our lives. So just being grateful in any which way and form that you can pay for these treatments, right? And if you're worried about, like you said, how am I going to make the next payment? Let go of the how. Let go of the how and just know and have the faith that, okay, we'll figure it out. It will get figured out and we will be able to pay for this XYZ, right? So I hope that makes sense, but that's kind of what I tell my clients when we're dealing with stuff like this.
Yeah, that's it. Honestly, it's incredible because I think so many people don't understand that money really is energy. And, from a person before I got into this information and understanding universal laws and mindset and manifestation, um, my very first fertility journey, literally my husband and I were living paycheck to paycheck, and we both like sat and cried and said, how could we even possibly afford the amount that they're saying that we could potentially pay, because they can't guarantee you're going to get pregnant the first time or the seventh time. So they give you an idea, and like, it's overwhelming when you think, like, and then your mindset kind of takes over sometimes, because I really battled with myself because I already had three stepdaughters. I just thought, like, maybe I'm just supposed to be a stepmom. Maybe I should just give up on this dream of being a biological mom and having my own kids. And, this work, this mindset and manifestation has really changed my life. And I think you gave such incredible tips for our listeners, because truly, like, what you don't know is what you don't know. And, it's, the world needs to know this information. And I really feel like when we made our book, we really just wanted an impact, to help as many people as possible to start receiving their desires and start living the life of their dreams. Would you say that was your impact when you wanted to do your chapters?
Yeah, I mean, that's I think why we all got into coaching too, is like this material has transformed our life so much and so drastically and for the better, that we just wanted to help others do the same. Like, I mean, I know you know my story, but like I was searching basically for my purpose in life, because what I was doing, I realized, was no longer my purpose. And then I found this material and I had such a passion for it. It was like, this is just life changing. And when our tour said, like, we need more people to teach this, we need more people to spread this news, I knew instantly that this I was meant to do this, right? To help others live the same beautiful life. And just be able to manifest abundance in so many ways has been, life changing. So yeah, definitely. That's kind of like when we decided to write this book. I was like, we can make an impact, and really help people get started, right? In this, get familiar with it, because that's how my journey in all of this actually started, was through a book. Like reading, I mean, I knew about manifestation a little bit, but then I decided to buy a book and really actually start studying it. I was like, oh my gosh, like this really could be life changing. But yeah, and I really love our book because of the embodiment that involved in it, because of the practice questions at the end of each chapter. If you guys haven't checked it out, you really should. It really does help you. It's not just a book you read and put on the shelf. It's kind of a book that is interactive and really helps you to start the transformation as well.
Awesome. And so you had just mentioned in the call you were on a fertility journey yourself. Are you willing to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. So I had my first daughter in 2012. We had no problems getting pregnant. First month, first try, no problems whatsoever. Um, and so I think I was 28 or something at the time, and I can't remember exactly. So then 2 years later, we decided to try for our second, and it did not go at all. I wasn't getting pregnant, and then I got pregnant, and I had a miscarriage. And I was devastated because I was like, how could this happen? Blaming myself, like, did I lift something? Did I do whatever? And then we tried again. It took a couple more months, and I got pregnant again, and I was so excited. And this time I had a second miscarriage, and it was like it was definitely more traumatizing for me because it was further along. It was 11. I found out when I thought I was 11 weeks, but had found out that it had passed 2 weeks prior, and I was just so in disbelief. I was like, but we just were at the just saw the heartbeat like 2 days before that it passed, and I just didn't understand what was happening with my body and everything. And I'm a doer, like I'm an action taker. I was like, all right, we're going to the fertility doctor, we're getting this figured out. Had all our numbers checked, and my numbers were not good. Like they were not good, but we ended up just doing trying with progesterone. I think I did, or I got pregnant, and then I had to do the progesterone every week or every day. I can't even remember. Is it every day or I don't even remember. It's so long ago, but like, it was a lot. But it was very stressful. I remember like the fear, and this was before I had this material, right? Like the fear I had while I was pregnant, the whole pregnancy, was in fear. I couldn't wait for that weekly appointment to go have that ultrasound, right? Like I was like, oh my gosh, we're almost there. We're almost to the ultrasound day. We're almost there. And I can see the heartbeat. And then, even towards the, like in the middle of the pregnancy, if I had I think I cut myself shaving because I shave, and I thought there was blood, and I'm calling a doctor in the middle of the night. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know. You're freaking out. Even at the very end, I thought I couldn't fear anymore. And I went in, and to have the murders, the whole thing was just so fear-based. And if I would have had this material, um, everything would have been different, I'm sure. Right. Like, because I was so afraid of losing that baby. I think that's why I really stressed on, people that have had past miscarriages, really just focusing on that end result rather than remembering the past of what has happened before.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But I
Thank you
now have
for
another baby. So, it all worked out. And, I'm so grateful every day for that. It just, um, it's part of a club that you never really want to be with. But another thing is that like so many people don't talk about it. And I wish more people did talk about it because it would not make it feel so isolating. Right. Like, and so, it's so much more common than we are aware of, especially nowadays. And I don't know if environment changes happen, but also we're having babies later in life, right? Than our parents did and everything else. So there's so many factors that go into it. But I'm just glad that I feel I can talk about it openly, and not because I have learned that I don't have to, I'm not judged. I am not like in this club that is something's wrong with us, right? It's there's nothing wrong with you. It's just how it is. And it's so beautiful to be able to share this with other people and their experiences and feel supported.
Mhm. Thank you for sharing that because honestly, when I went through my journey, I didn't know a single person that was struggling to get pregnant. I didn't know anyone that had a miscarriage. And it wasn't actually until I was in the fertility world that my mom opened up to me about her own miscarriage. And I thought, how did I not know? You're my mom. And
Right.
there's a wave of light in October where at 7 p.m. you light a candle for either pregnancy loss, miscarriage, all of these things. And I posted on my social media, and I was just like, it was unbelievable how many people said, like, thank you for sharing this. I'm 1 in 4, I'm 1 in 8. And you think, oh my gosh, like, there is so many more people that have this silent battle of infertility that, we don't know about, because it's still very taboo to talk about. And
Yeah.
um I think it's so important to talk to people, because I feel like when we were in high school, it was like, don't have sex, you're going to get pregnant. And then you
I
get
know.
into the real world and you want to have a family. And then when it's not working, it's instantly that, like, pressure on yourself of, like, what is
Hmm.
wrong with me? Like, why am I not getting pregnant? Or when you do have a miscarriage, you're like, what is wrong with my body? Like, what did I do? And it leaves you with this feeling. And it just, when you feel alone already, it's nice to know that you're not alone, that other people have experienced this too. And I agree with you. I think it's great that you can openly talk about it, because some people still can't. It's still very triggering for them. And some people are just, they're very private, and I respect that. And I think that's okay too. But I think it's so important for people to understand fertility looks different for every single person. Um, some people immediately have to start out in the fertility world, and some people don't. And I feel like every country, every city has different, like, ways to get into fertility. Like here in Canada, I believe you have to try naturally for 3 years, or you have to have so many recurrent miscarriages before they can enter you into the fertility world. And you think about that and you're just like, my goodness, like, why? Like, you know what I mean? Um, and I think it's so important for people to understand that they're not alone and that there is absolutely nothing wrong with them. So thank you so much for sharing your story, and thank you for all the amazing tools that you offered the listeners with, money manifestation and affirmations and thinking of the end result. And at the bottom, I'm going to link. So if anyone wants to contact you, I want to definitely pass on your information, because you're near and dear to my heart, because we're co-authors, but just, you are such a natural light, and anyone benefits from listening to you. So thank you for being on our episode, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing day.
Thank you so much. You're such a beautiful friend, and I'm so grateful for you and this opportunity. So, thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you. If you found this helpful or know anyone that needs to hear this, please share. And don't forget to leave a review and subscribe. In love and gratitude, Jessica.